Welcome to Divine Masculine Reading at 108 Gate. We are going straight into the tuning forks. If you do not want to listen to the tuning forks, you can mute it now, and then when I go for the card, you'll know that we're going into the reading. Other than that, let's get straight in. So those of you who do enjoy your tuning forks, this is the heart chakra tuning fork. So enjoy. Here we go. That felt quite like it needed to go longer. It wanted to go on longer. It felt like it was trying to penetrate certain areas that need to be healed, certain areas within the heart that are frozen, like the saying of like a heart of stone. So where things have kind of become solid and from insecurities, from fears, from worries, from stress, it's turned to stone. Interesting. So it felt like the frequency wanted to dissolve those dense, unwanted emotions. It's not it's unwanted, it's just it served its purpose at some point to be fixed that way. Now we're able to move on. So realization, knowing that we're in a better position to move on, knowing, and it's like there's a sense of trust and a sense of awareness of, actually I can see and I can feel where I'm ready to move on. I can see and feel where I actually have made progress, and that is not to be underestimated, because it's that particular emotion, that particular connection with self, that is going to allow you to move on to the next step. It's going to allow you to kind of take your hand off the one monkey bar to be able to move to the next monkey bar. It's going to allow you to swing forward and move forward in a way that you possibly hadn't anticipated happening just yet. And the reason that's coming up is because you weren't possibly aware of how much or what was still locked in the subconsciousness and the subconsciousness of the heart space. So this coming up now, it's going to be a bit shocking to see that it's still actually there, or what's coming up. And there's some things that are going to seem unfamiliar. So what I mean by that is that there's some things that we are consciously aware of, that we've been dealing with, we've been fighting with, we've been grappling with, we've been healing, we've been wounded by, or whatever. But there's some things that are going to be coming up which are kind of a surprise, of like, I didn't even know that was there, I didn't even know I was dealing with that particular thing. Again, this is Neptune in Pisces kind of area of going into spaces that you kind of created an illusion or a defense mechanism, a survival skill around something. So you had to perceive someone or something or a situation to be a particular way, or a particular with a particular energy or a particular perspective. So as this starts dismantling and dissolving, you're going to feel more of the reality of what it was. So the realization allows you to now see what you're actually standing up against, what you're actually rising up against. And this is going to help you feel stronger and true to yourself, because you're getting the clarity that you've needed. So when something feels off, you can't quite put your finger on it, you don't quite know what it is that you can't identify. In that lack of understanding, in that lack of clarity, how do you proceed forward? You don't actually know how to proceed forward. So this realization, this clarity that's coming in, is working in multiple dimensions. It's working on numerous levels of your consciousness, subconsciousness, through emotions, through different areas of self. Different ways of caring for self seem really important, and that was coming up in the Divine Feminine reading too. So you want to check that out if you haven't yet, because it was very conscious of how do we prioritize things. It kind of felt more of it felt more of a practical application of what we're learning and what we're doing, and it does seem to be going more in that direction. So here we go. We've got the Knight of Wands. So proceeding forward in a particular way, proceeding forward with a particular awareness of certain things, knowing that at one time we didn't have the strength or courage to do this, but now that we do have this, it's about doing it in a way that's actually beneficial for self, and you have that faith and trust in your next step. You have that faith and trust in where you're heading. So the Three of Swords coming in. So again, it's that heartbreak, heartache kind of thing. So that was where you were locked. If that's where you were stuck, and the shock or whatever it was, I don't know why I keep saying shock, but it feels like there's it could be quite a few of you that there's a certain thing that happened, or a realization before that was a shock. So you've kind of had to reframe it and tell yourself some lies around it to be able to just deal with and continue with life in a way that actually keeps you like a buffer zone from actually acknowledging the reality of the situation of what it was then. So wow, solar plexus, definitely. It's like the heart is crying, and then there's all this energy coming out through the solar plexus, going through the solar plexus more accurately. So this is then creating a new level of foundation, a new sense of foundation. Like I was going to say, a core feeling. It's going through the solar plexus. It's going from the heart, and as it's dissolving and loosening up in the heart chakra, it's moving in the solar plexus. So it literally feels like your core being, your core essence is going to be revealing itself more so to you from behind those concealed places. So where you've had to hide from certain truth, you've had to hide from certain things, you're going to become aware of what else that meant you were hiding from. So your higher potential, your higher self, your because you can't see certain things if you're still behind the hidden thing. If you're behind a hidden curtain, you can't see what's on the other side of the curtain. If you're behind a hidden emotion, you can't feel what's on the other side of that elated version of that emotion. So you stayed in the negative space, you stayed in the negative area of that particular context of emotion, that particular context of your life. Very, very powerful energies. Okay, that doesn't want to move upright. Ace of Swords. The clarity is coming in, and as the clarity is coming in, there's more. I'm seeing like a clock. So it's at, I guess, 10 o'clock at the moment, 10:30, whatever. 10, yeah. So it's like, I don't know why that's relevant. Maybe it's relevant for you. It's at 10 o'clock. Really, really peculiar. I don't even know why I've stopped. Ooh, wow. Okay. Something around 10 o'clock, whoever that's for. Well, it'd been interesting to know what that's about. So Ace of Swords, the clarity is not fully in, but at the same time it's not fully out like it was before. There's not these Three of Swords from heartbreaks there as they used to be. So as you're eliminating the swords and pulling out the swords, maybe it's the 10 of Swords energy, I don't know, is being released. So as you're eliminating those swords or releasing those swords, the clarity can start moving along. So even if you're, if you think about as you're going through the timelines, and there's a particular timeline where you were substantially wounded, hurt emotionally, and then that's that's healed, then it can move along a bit more, and then you're healing another time, or you're healing another incident or event, and then you move around a bit more. So it literally feels like it's healing, 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 in a time frame. So maybe it's the timelines you're working with, or it's time jumping, or whatever it is. It could be time jumping. All the cards are jumping. Let's see what they want to say. Excellent. So Queen of Wands, moving forward, and with the Six of Wands. So it feels as though this wants to go on here now. As you're healing these wounds, these emotionally taxing aspects of the past, your connection with Queen of Wands energy, being very in the feminine space, emotionally prepared to go into new spaces, emotionally prepared to do new things, emotionally vibrant and activated, assertive to do certain things. You're going towards your victory, going towards that which is suitable for you, going towards that which you had to give up at one point. So you'll be giving you've been given some understanding and better realization, better ideas of what you had to give up in the process of hiding, what you gave up in the process of isolating yourself in the lies. And I'm saying lies, it's not in a negative way, it's just, it literally feels like it was a defense mechanism, it was a survival mode that you had to stay in, and those lies at that point were what protecting you. And look at that, you've got Four of Wands on Four of Wands. So this is amplifying that energy of as you go through this process, your security, your core self, your core being is being it's being solidified, it's being reinforced. So when you think about putting up the foundation, it's not only putting up the foundation, your foundation is being reinforced, your foundation is being solidified, your foundation is being clarified, if that makes sense. You get more clarity coming in as to this being your correct foundation. Queen of Swords. I thought we had a Queen of Swords before. Maybe, no, we didn't. Okay, so the Queen of Swords coming in with greater clarity, like I just said. Yes, this is your foundation because it's truly you. It's that visceral feeling. And in the Divine Masculine reading, I did have a wave of love pouring through and out. So I did say sending love to those of you who are watching the Divine Feminine reading, because it was a very heartfelt, warming and inspiring flow of emotion. That's kind of, it was healing, but it was also expansive at the same time. I think it was the fact that it was healing that allowed the expansion to happen, which makes sense here with the Queen of Swords, expanding from reality, expanding from the lie, expanding out from the lie, like the lotus coming out of the mud. You're coming out from the hidden spaces of self, with the Queen of Wands sitting right there with supportive energy of this is where we're going into a victory, with a victory. So in the Divine Masculine reading, sorry, Divine Feminine reading, there was Six of Wands, but it wasn't upright, it was reversed because it wasn't quite ready to do that. Here it feels like it's ready to step into a victory, because it's the masculine energy stepping forward and the feminine energy already prepared to step forward when the masculine energy is ready to step forward. So really, really putting attention to how are you doing things and when are you doing things. And like I said, wow, just about to say it. Now, if you go and check out the Divine Feminine reading, you'll see exactly why I said wow. Step forward with your priorities intact, in sync, in a particular order. So like I said, A, B and C, but it might be that C is your top priority, whatever that is. When you are attending to C, you make sure that you're fully focused on C, so you see it through to the end. There's certain energies and emotions that are going to be coming up which are telling you and informing you of where, and like they're going to inform you of where you were stuck and you weren't able to proceed forward before. So instead of doing A, B and C, you're going to be focusing on the first priority first, and then let the emotions come up. which are new, or they may be foreign. They may feel foreign because you're not used to actually proceeding forward in this kind of way. So taking that time to rest, because in that resting process, once you've made progress, make sure you rest at a certain point for a certain period of time until you feel ready for the next step, because this is where you're going to be disentangling yourself from when you were stuck before. So where you were stuck before, you're going to be releasing those things. It is going to bring up emotions. It's going to bring up flashbacks. It's going to bring up bizarre, peculiar dreams. It's going to bring up realizations. It's going to bring up information that you hadn't put together. And then all of a sudden, when you put this information together, and then it actually gives you the conclusion of what was actually happening, it's going to be quite shocking on some level. But this time, instead of going into shock and freezing, it's going to be shock and then flow, shock and then flow, shock and then flow. I'm not saying you need that many shocks. I'm just saying that's the process of like realization. This information, it doesn't make sense with this information. I don't understand. These two come together. You see how it was actually possible for these things to happen, or certain people to do these things. Whatever it is, the information is going to start clicking together. As it starts clicking together, things start making sense. Oh my gosh, what was that? Realization. Now move forward from it. Don't be stuck in it. So this process of moving forward from it is going to be because of having been stuck previously in that energy. So this is a beautiful, fantastic, powerful opportunity to really visit those emotional knots, the emotional entanglements that have kept you less than your higher potential for so long. So moving forward, making sure you're being aware and attentive to these things, taking your time. So it's not that you can't do the other priorities. It's a matter of first master how to do the first priority, and then the next one. So you'll be able to do two at a time, because you've kind of learnt some things about how to manage certain things in a different way, and change how you utilise your resources, change how you respond and react to certain things. Therefore, you'll be better able to manage the two. So it's like a pyramid. As you're then better able to manage those two, then it may be that you have 3 or 4 or 5 things at a time that you're dealing with. So it's just about building your resilience, it's building your resources, it's building a new way of responding to situations, people, things like that. So we've got Page of Swords flowing out. So the realization, again, the clarity it's coming in Page of Swords because it's coming in as like flashes of information. This connected with that person was talked to that. Those times and moments where you said, did he just say something? Did she just say something? And then you ask them, did you just say something? And they're like, no. But you saw what you saw. You heard what you heard. So the truth of all that is dissolving the trauma. The truth of that is dissolving the discomfort that you've had to kind of carry around. Trauma's quite there you go. She was the one that was this was the one that was upside down. Now it's upright with this, upright with moving forward, looking up to the Knight of Wands, like, yes, we can go forward now. I understand what I've got to do. I understand how I've got to do it. I'm emotionally prepared. I'm emotionally making sure that my schedule, I'm providing myself this time to rest. My schedule makes sure that I'm providing myself a safe space to heal, to reclaim my higher power. I'm making sure that I'm giving myself that extra 10 minutes, that extra half an hour, that extra hour to meditate, to rest, to have a bath, whatever it is, that self-love, that self-care that you do. So you can literally still yourself, and then let that new aspects of self come in, and actually, I just want to keep saying, like, penetrate. It's penetrating the negative energies. It's penetrating those dense energies that you don't want to have there anymore. So it's like a laser going through. Then you got your 9 of Cups. It's going to be a well-earned 9 of Cups. It's well-earned. It's all yours for you to have. It's all yours for you to enjoy, and to know that as you're doing this work, and it's just going more and more tick, tick, tick. Who knows how many rotations it's going to have, but it does feel like it's rotating, time bending. I don't know, whatever it is for you, that 10 o'clock felt relevant. So I'm going to get another clarifying card, sorry, another oracle card for this for some reason. Not sure why. Remembrance, memories, and the past hold the key. That's why. Right, so for those of you who do not want to have the next tuning fork session, hope you're well. Have a great day and see you soon. If personal readings, it's 108gate@gmail.com. And for those of you who do want to hear the tuning fork, here we go. So for now, peace and love.